Morning, Bevan. This Saturday morning. So I'm going to be checking the fuel system, and I got the adapter and everything all hooked up, and the gauge. And so obviously it's reading 0 right now. I haven't turned the key on this morning yet. So when I put the key to the on position, the system should prime and come up to maybe about 60. And so we're going to do our best to see what's happening when it's stalling, because it's still doing that thing where it'll start and then it immediately stalls. And then usually got to crank it a few times, and then it'll do that again, and then maybe one more time, and it'll start up and stay running. So either way, we got to find out what's wrong. Now that we've isolated a lot of things that it's not, we're going to see the fuel system. So it's a little hard to do to check everything, but let's see here. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to do is prime the system. Oh, key's not in it. And we're going to see what we're making for pressure. Oh, it's already a problem. So 45, man, sounds like there's a lot of air in this system. So that's an interesting factor, because 40 psi is already too low. Definitely. So that could be a factor of why, because there's a lot of air in the system, and it could be leaking down. That's something that is kind of common on these fuel pumps. The transfer pump is obviously underneath of the truck. That's where the primary filter is, and then of course you have your secondary filter. But yeah, if it's leaking down overnight, that would explain why you're having a cold start scenario where it's given as it sits for a long period of time, it leaks down. So the one-way valve in the pump could be leaking, and that's why it's allowing it to basically go back to the pump, or allowing air in the system, one of the two. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna do it again. Let's see if it gets a little higher than 40 psi. So that's a no. So there's definitely air in the system. The fuel bowl was mostly full, but all that noise you're hearing right now, yeah, that's air. So that's interesting. Yeah, really thinking the fuel system is compromised. Yeah, it's annoying when you have a few things going on at the same time. Like I said, the ICP sensor, obviously the voltage was wrong, and that led me to believe that was the real reason, as per my experience. But either way, so I'm gonna have to set this up real quick, and bear with me while I do this. Just want to see what the live data is going to show me while we're cranking. It does take a few seconds to set up. I gotta go through all the custom features in order to isolate different things I want, because as you saw, there's quite a few different things to pick from, and I don't want to have to see all of those. So I want to give just a few things that I need. Alright, in this case, we want to see FICM, we want to see ICP, voltage and regulator, and we want to see synchronization. Actually, I want to see FICM sync as well. Okay. Hopefully you were able to see that. I didn't notice where I was putting the camera. Okay, so we want to see IPR duty cycle. Mine. Harder to do with the gloves on. And we want ICP pressure while cranking. Okay, we're going to do this again. Cycling the key for the sake of getting the glow plugs to warm up. Once the injectors are done, we're going to fire it up. Okay. Wow. That took even longer to build pressure, which again, I would assume to be a high pressure oil loss. Frustrating truck. But let's see where the fuel is. Same thing. 40 psi. So 40 psi again is underperforming. 45 is the minimum. You really don't want it there. You want it to be about 60. So it could be the fuel pressure regulator on the side that's the problem, but it's very common, especially when you have a cold start problem, that it's actually the pump leaking down. And because when I put the cap on, the bowl was full. Usually if the fuel pressure regulator is the leak down point, it's going to empty out the bowl. So not always, but there's a lot of different ways they fail, and there's really no way to diagnose it perfectly other than just putting a gauge on it. Either way, let's see what happens one more time. I want to see what the pressure is running. Sorry. All right, let's crank it up again. Sorry about the glare. Let's try it again one more time. Dude, what is up with this truck? IPR. I swear this thing would have a leak, but it is not showing that. Yep, see, it's only building. Jeez. This building is struggling to build. 300 psi there. Frustrating. Okay. So that's definitely a problem. Let's go after this. We've already tested the ICP system, even though to me, there's definitely a problem with the ICP system, but I'm not sure what's going on with that. But this is a problem too, and this could be the reason it's cranking along like that. So we gotta fix this. All right, thanks, Bevan.